Hi friend, welcome to this mini creative practice exercise. It's all about the art of creative awareness. Creative awareness, I think, is really all about creating space, making physical space and mental space and spiritual creative space. I think of it a bit like opening a new document, a blank page, empty canvas when you're about to create something new on the computer or start a new piece of artwork, or even clearing off your table or your workspace before diving into a new project in the kitchen or in your studio or in a workshop. This little practice exercise is all about the process of making physical creative space and creating more room for the next idea to come through. Did you know that most of the time our creativity is not limited by our artistic talent? I'll say it again. Creativity is not limited by a lack of artistic talent. Creativity actually has very little to do with anything artistic at all. In fact, any creative limitations that we might feel are really more about a lack of creative awareness. And that is exactly why we're going to talk about it today in this little appetizer to the main course, which is my full 4-day creativity camp called Making Magic. It's launching soon, and I hope you'll join me for the full 4 days of creative fun. But for today, I really just wanted to share this little taste and help clear the space for the rest of the work and play that we'll be diving into and enjoying in Making Magic. So back to creative awareness and how it limits us in our sense of creativity. Let me explain how I see it. A lot of times, many of us are just floating through life almost on autopilot, filtering out everything we experience around us and especially inside of us. The more we can learn how to become aware of our inner thoughts and feelings and perceptions, the more creative possibilities we can unlock, and the more creative we will feel and be in our everyday lives and work. Today I'm going to guide you through a very simple exercise for practicing the shift in perception and hopefully help you start opening your heart and your mind and your creative awareness from wherever you are right now. I know awareness is sort of a buzzword lately, and a lot of people are talking about awareness, a lot of people are teaching about it and creating things to help us become better aware and more mindful. And those are very similar processes to what we're going to be exploring today. But we're going to be focusing through a creative lens. So what is creative awareness? Before we can start making our ideas into real things, and before we can begin the creative process of building something new, and before inspiration can even find us, let alone strike us, we first have to learn how to be more present in our actual, literal, physical bodies. At least present enough to start recognizing the creative urges that are wanting to flow to us and through us. Ideas come to us all the time. Creativity is mostly just a matter of noticing them and catching them, maybe organizing them so they can better be expressed and created and continue their flow out into the world through us. David Lynch writes about it in his famous book, Catching the Big Fish, about creativity as a process of diving below the surface of our daily lives to catch the big fish. These are the big ideas that can't exist on the surface level of our awareness. They live in the stillness beyond our everyday chaos. And that is the direction where this exercise is aiming to point you. It's a creative practice we can return to again and again and hone this process of diving deeper and deeper beyond the surface level of awareness that surrounds us in our daily lives. I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I know. This notion, this idea of creative awareness is really all about this continual process of expanding our outer perspective and our inner perceptions of what we see, sense, and feel out in the world and especially inside our bodies. It's also about practicing our ability to open up our senses to new possibilities so we can notice and absorb and express things that maybe we haven't noticed, absorbed, or expressed before. And to be more open to the subtle details we might often overlook and give ourselves the time and space to experience the world around us in new ways. To allow ourselves to think and feel a little bit more deeply instead of just rushing through life on to the next thing and the next thing. Think of it like this. If our creativity were a camera, a lot of us are always walking around with our lens on life zoomed all the way in, focused mainly on what's right in front of us, or maybe we're in a perpetually anxiety-inducing state where we're constantly zooming in and out again, but not really staying for very long in either perspective. But today we're going to focus on zooming all the way out and just resting there for a bit. The exercise today, this little introductory dive into this concept of creative awareness, is all about the practice of expanding what you notice inside yourself and outside yourself. So let's try this. The first thing we're going to do is just eliminate our visual awareness for right now, closing off our sense of sight by shutting our eyes. I think obviously that's why a lot of meditation practices are done with eyes closed, just to eliminate those outer visible distractions. If you're like me, you're very easily visibly distracted, and it's so super easy to get lost in all the visuals that surround us and consume us and absorb us in our daily lives, from things in our physical surroundings to the screens that we're constantly distracted by and derailed by and notified and interrupted by all day long. So we're going to start just by closing our eyes and then imagining what it might feel like to expand our creative awareness. So it's about creating more space around the thoughts and feelings and ideas that are trying to find their way into our awareness. And we want to just not focus on any of it. So you're going to close your eyes to start. Start imagining that expansive creative awareness. You're not really focusing on anything specific around you or inside of you. You're just going to see if you can let your senses open up and become more aware of all of the inner and outer sensations. Maybe you've seen that viral 5 things exercise where you notice 5 things that you can see, 5 things you can touch, 5 things you can smell, 5 things you can hear. And it's really all about bringing you into the present moment, and it is supposed to help relieve anxiety and help calm your nervous system because you're so focused on the present moment. So in this exercise, we're actually going to just start with what you can hear and what you can feel inside your body. And then we'll open up and we'll talk a little bit more about seeing. But for now, just notice what you're hearing. Maybe there are some background noises happening around you. Maybe you hear the hum of the refrigerator or a fan in the room. Maybe you can hear birds singing outside or traffic. Maybe you hear your dog snoring in the corner of the room. Just notice those things. And notice what you're feeling inside your body. Maybe you can feel the weight of your body against the chair that you're in. Or maybe it's the texture of the clothes against your skin. Or the temperature of the air around your face. And now you can open your eyes, and without necessarily looking at any one thing, just let your eyes soften and take in the whole space around you. If you wear glasses, you might take them off. Then everything immediately softens, and everything I see just becomes simple shapes and shadows and depths of space and light and dark. If you don't wear glasses, maybe you just soften your vision a bit and let everything blur together, so you're really not noticing the details of anything right now. You're just sort of taking in the abstract shapes and colors and contrasts of lightness and darkness that you can see. You're not really observing or analyzing or labeling anything. You're just opening your senses to see how much and how many new sensations you might let into your awareness. And that's it. That's really all there is to beginning this practice of creative awareness. Because this is just an exercise, and much like the other exercises that we're going to play with during the 4 days of making magic, they're all super simple that hopefully you can practice and return to them. And if you're dedicated in establishing your creative practice and process, you will continue to strengthen your core creativity muscles. And these exercises will help you build a solid foundation for a sustainable creative practice that will support you in your life and work for many years to come. So it's really all about just starting with these simple shifts from everyday filtering of everyday constant details into a more intentional noticing of things that we are feeling and sensing around us and inside of us. The more present we can learn to be in our physical bodies, the more we can sense when creative ideas are wanting to come to us and through us, because you will feel it in your body. And we all feel those things in slightly different ways. But we can start noticing and recognizing our unique creative urges. We can learn to feel and sense the excitement in our physical bodies. You might notice a gut feeling or a longing in your heart that are telling you, yes, this is it. This is the right idea. Sometimes our creative urges can be loud and obvious, but I found more often than not, they are quiet and soft and so subtle that they can get lost in the noise of our day-to-day lives. or they're just really easy to overlook in the midst of the chaos of daily life. Creativity doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when we're aware enough to recognize the inspiration that's already there. And this is just the beginning. I hope you'll join me for the full 4-day Making Magic Creativity Camp. We're going to be diving even deeper into the process of moving from awareness to attention, learning how to direct our focus and seeing things differently. We'll talk about honing our creative language and also building a sustainable creative practice, including rituals and habits that will help us find and follow our creative inspiration and make the creative process feel effortless and easy and fun, as it should. I would love to hear how this simple exercise went for you and about some of the things you might have noticed that maybe you've never paid attention to before. And definitely be sure to follow the link below if you'd like to join me for the full 4-day creative adventure of making magic. I'm offering a little deal this month in honor of my birthday. You can sign up now before the official launch for only $35 in honor of my March 5th 35 birthday. The price will jump up to $49, my new age, when the camp launches later this month. I would love to see you there. Thank you for joining me here. I hope there was something impactful or valuable or something helpful for guiding you through the process of opening your mind and your perceptions and becoming a little more aware of your inner creative urges. All right, much love. Orson.